Good morning, friends. Brian Noe with you for our Sunday morning spread, April 25th, 2021. Hard to believe that our year has almost one third passed already here. We'll go straight to the table this morning for our four cards, looking at the four dimensions of life and kind of where energy is, or where we want to place our energy in the week to come. So we've got the physical, material realm, we've got the social, emotional realm, we've got the mental realm, and we've got the spiritual realm. Right off the bat, three majors in this spread this morning, so some big energy stirring around as we begin the week, the last week of April of the year here. We've got the Four of Discs in the physical, material realm. We've got adjustment in the social emotional realm. This card would be called Justice in other decks. We've got the Emperor up in here in the mental realm, and card number 13 in the spiritual realm. So an interesting spread. Look at the four energy going on over here on the left side of this. And then we've got this sort of softer energy, things moving around over here on the right, but this stuff very solid over here. So let's take these one at a time. Four of Discs. This is Sol in Capricorn. And as you can see, this almost looks like a fortress with the elements of the ancients inscribed on the top of these battlements here. Four is the number of stability, security, solidity. Is solidity a word? I guess it is. Solidness. Who knows? Only 3 cups of coffee, or 3 sips of coffee so far this morning, so brain and mouth are not quite engaged, but so solid, stable, secure, and discs, of course, the suit of the material realm. So looks like some very kind of stable energy under the surface here for physical, financial, anything to do with the material dimension, the material plane of our lives here. This could also be a cue, this whole side here, to kind of get organized. So if you have been considering and putting off a formal exercise program of some sort, or a formal routine or regimen of some sort in your life, or creating a financial budget, or following a formal diet plan, something along those lines, this would maybe be a good week to start that with that card there. But fairly happy, auspicious card, starting with a place of security and stability here in the physical dimension to get the week going. Okay, over here in the social emotional dimension, we have adjustment. And again, this card would in other decks be called Justice, but I kind of like the notion of adjustment. So in other words, getting everything justified, getting everything in a state of justice. And we can see the scales here. This card would relate to Libra. And I don't know if you can see this, but in the scales we've got Alpha and Omega. So beginning to end, things may move around in between, but in the end, what we start with and what we finish with have to be in balance. And this is kind of akin to the notion that things aren't really lost, they just change shape. They just change, in chemical reactions and stuff like that. Your stuff, it might create energy, but there is something there that equals out over the long run. So stuff is not lost, it just changes its form. And so in the social emotional realm, this has a lot of different implications. One of them is, that stuff will balance out in the long run. So however we're feeling right now, or whatever interactions we're having, pleasant or unpleasant, stuff is going to balance out the way it's supposed to, um, in the very long run. Um, so I think it also can tell us that it is maybe our job to seek balance as we go along. So if stuff is kind of pouring in on us in the week to come, um, emotionally, socially, that kind of stuff, try to find some balance within, maybe with meditation or another daily spiritual practice of some sort that brings us back into balance, regardless of kind of what's going on. Maybe a flurry of sorts around us, but we can still seek balance and find balance. And maybe we are the balance for other people. If there is, if there is any sort of disturbance or frantic energy going around, we can be the one that balances that with our calmness. So anyway, focus on balance in the week to come. Okay, up here in the mental realm, we have the Emperor. And this is the card of structure, of governance. We can see that we've got, so this card relates to Aries. We've got the Ram up here, but we also have the Lamb. And the Emperor kind of transmutes that Ram to the Lamb through rules and strong governing hand. Takes the wildness within us and creates something that is manageable. And so, and again, fours being the cards of fours in the minors being the cards of structure and security, but also this is the fourth of the majors, and so it indicates that same sort of thing, the sort of stability that you would see in a chair, four legs, or a table, that sort of thing. So, or think of a stone cube of some sort, and the stability implied there, maybe a foundation stone of some sort. So somebody needs to get organized. It sounds like to me from these two cards over on this side. So in the mental realm, that could be if we have a lot of things going on in our thoughts, lots of different things that we're studying, get that organized a little bit. Take what time it takes to sit down and make a list, get things scheduled out, that sort of thing would be really helpful. So the same kind of advice we got here in the physical realm, we're getting in the mental. Let's get our thoughts organized and not just be scattered in a bunch of different directions. Saving the best for last seems like an odd thing to say with the Death card. But the Death card in this Thoth deck is different. So we're used to this very kind of stiff-looking Grim Reaper in the Death card in the Marseille deck and the RWS system and all of that, where it's coming along chopping off people's heads. And in this deck, that's not what we've got. I want to start singing Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid, but I won't. You're welcome. Definitely Under the Sea here. And we've got the symbols of Scorpio. We've got the scorpion, the serpent, and the eagle all in this card. And the fish, and the figure of death is dancing, it looks like, moving around, real fluid, lots of curves going on here and everything, and is stirring up the funk down at the bottom of the ocean. And it's a creative force, okay? So, and we know that death in any deck does not really symbolize physical death. It is usually about a rebirth of some sort, the end of something that is finally coming to a close, but also a new chapter beginning. And this card, I love the way that that Frida Lady Harris has depicted death here. That it's stirring up the sediment, moving things in energy, and it almost looks like souls heading up to be born or something. And so it is, in this case, an auspicious card in that spiritual dimension of our lives that, all the work that we have done, or maybe work that we are just now engaging with, we're going to see the fruits of that. We're going to see some new life growing there, entering a new chapter of some sorts. So I think that's the way that I would read these cards. As always, I'd love to hear from you with your thoughts, your impressions, your questions. I'd love, especially if any of this is resonating with you, if there's any of it that you think, hey, that makes sense in my life, I'd love to hear that. You can either comment here on the video or head on over to the Cards of Light weblog at brightblessingstarot.com and leave comments there. I hope you have a beautiful last week of April, and that you are well and happy and safe, and we will see you soon. Have a beautiful Sunday.